Hey everybody, just getting set up in here. Let's see, here I am. How are you guys doing today? It's a little noisy around here today. It's Saturday, so everybody's mowing their lawns. I have all the colors that are up there. Hey Sherry, haven't seen you in a little while. But I have all the colors up in the description. And I am gonna start, my battery is a little low on my phone, but I have it plugged in while I am taping. But the battery, I don't know what went on with my batteries all week. I don't know what's going on. Hey Angela. Hey Susan, how are you guys doing? So, yeah, I'm gonna try and stay on track today. Teresa, Angela, I have not seen you, Teresa, in a long time, lady. So, I'm gonna start out with his shirt because I know that shirts, patterns, things like that. Hey Susan, are all a hot topic as to how to do things. So I'm just gonna go ahead and hop right in. This is one that I did like 5 minutes ago. Honestly, like 5 minutes. It just takes a little bit of practice. It's super easy. So when you're starting out, let me see if I have another one here really fast because I want to show you guys something, and I should have grabbed another one and I didn't, so I'm really sorry, but I'm looking for an image. I know I have his shirt printed out already. Here it is. So we do have practice sheets of his shirt. It's a little bit bigger than the actual image. So if you want to just practice his shirt, you're like a bad penny. What do you mean like a bad penny, Teresa? I've heard that phrase, but I don't know what it is. So when you're first starting out, what I normally do is, you know me, I'll map it out first. So I'm going to start with G21. Hey, sorry, Jacqueline, you're like, what? 2 seconds late. You're fine, sweetheart. But I just end up going down with the lines of his shirt and kind of go from there. And I just do kind of thick, and this is just practicing. I'm just getting my groove, getting my strokes. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect when you're just like, where do these lines go? So you can kind of figure out where the lines go. Now on this side, you can tell his hand's in his pocket, so it's going to be a little crumpled right here. So we're just going to go down, okay? And then, but we're going to keep it tight here and go out a little bit here. Because it's going to be, I actually made my son stand with a shirt like this with his hand in his pocket so I could see how the crumpling went. He was like, Mom, really? What are you doing? And I told him he was now a model, but I wasn't paying him. And you can tell my lines are going the wrong way because I'm just figuring out how things are going, how I want them to go. Okay? So once you get that figured out, and that's what I make these practice pages for, is so you can just put your lines down, see where you want them to go. You can also take a ruler and a pencil. And if you're worried about them being ultra straight, you can kind of go like this and just figure it out with your ruler and your pencil. But one thing about doing it this way with a ruler, right here, a ruler is not going to help you. I'm so sorry, but it's not going to help you. So for his shirt, we're going to exclude the ruler, but know that you can use it, okay? It's there for you to use. You can absolutely use it. So I'm going to put those away, and I'm going to go to this little dude because we already colored Luka already. So when I'm doing plaid, you guys know I normally go dark to light. However, there are instances when I do go light to dark, and that is with plaid. So I'm going to use my G21, okay? And this is where you want your strokes to be very light, barely touch the paper, and just bring your strokes down, okay? This is where those nice, light, thin strokes are going to be a huge benefit. So I'm going to come down, and I'm actually going to be trying to be as neat as possible this time. So I'm going to come down, and I'm just going with the seams of his shirt. Okay? And I'm just doing them, you know, try to keep them about the same distance apart. This is where you can use a ruler to make like little tick marks. Like, okay, I want it to go from here to here. But for the most part, when there's curves and things, a ruler is not going to be your friend. It'll be more like a frenemy. So, and then we're going to do his sleeve. Now his sleeve, we know that it kind of doesn't follow the rules when it lays flat. So we're just going to put some down. Now this one again, so I can get used to the curves, I'm just following the stitch line of his shirt. And then I'm just going to do it again. And I'm doing the exact same thing, but this time, again, I'm kind of curving it at the bottom to follow that stitch line. So, let's see. Go ahead and do it a few more times. Now this one, you know, the line is going to go up above his collar. So what I usually do is I start at the collar, and then I'll figure out where it's going to go, and I'll go up from there. That way I'm not trying to match it up, and that way, knowing me, I don't go through his collar, because that would totally happen to me. Now this one, I can kind of come down and around, and if you're not comfortable with curves, again, start at the collar and go down. Now you can start one, like I'm going to start one right here at his armpit and go down, because you know that material when it's sewn is not perfect at all. And you got to do the little bit back here, and I just put 2 little lines. Now for his shoulder on this side, I'm going down the center, and then I'm going to go ahead and take some from the side, go out to the sides from there. That way it can kind of be even. And I'm saying kinda because you know it's not going to be perfect. It's not meant to be perfect. So his collar, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen a collar where the pattern goes exactly the same way. So I'm just going to go out, you know, out away from his face and kind of follow the collar line and go make it round. That way his collar looks like it's kind of standing up a little bit. And it, again, doesn't have to be perfect, but here is his shirt. Hopefully that does not get blurry, or it's actually on the camera. That would be nice. Okay. So that was the G21. Now I'm going to go with G24. And I'm going to use the thin lines again. But this time I'm going to move him to the side, and I'm going to go sideways. And this time I'm going to do, instead of doing one line like that, I'm actually going to do two small lines right together and then do a space. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm again starting at the seam, at the little stitch line. And you want to make sure your Copics are clean when you do this, because if you don't, they're going to get goopy, things are going to run, and then it's going to look like poopy. So and I'm just trying to keep the spaces even, but again, does not have to be perfect. And this one again, I'm just starting at one side of the collar and doing that, and then going to the other side of the collar and trying to keep it even. And doing his shirt, again, starting at that nice stitched seam line that Irina has put in there for us. That way I can try and keep things nice and straight. Hi, Betsy, how are you doing? Nice to see you here, sweetheart. We are just doing our plaid shirt. I'm using G24, and I'm just doing really thin double lines on these lines right here that I did are G21. So here's where it gets a mite tricky. So glad to hear you're doing good, Betsy. So I'm gonna go on that seam line, again, that little stitched line. But this time I gotta go at a curve. But we know that it's crinkled right about there. So I'm gonna put a dot right there. Hey Kim, how are you? And I'm gonna flip him over. And I'm gonna start at that dot that I put, because I know that's where that crinkle mark's gonna go. But this is not gonna be straight. It's gonna be tight over by the crinkles, and it's gonna be wider over here. Okay, remember, tight by the crinkles, and then it's going to go out, it's going to flare out just slightly. There we go. So now we've got our lines going above those crinkles, and we are good. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it that way. You can do straight lines all the way across if you want to do that. It is completely up to you. You don't have to do exactly as I'm doing. Personal preference, always and forever. So let's see the last of the lines. And now for the collar. So remember, we did the G21 coming out away from his face, out towards his shoulder. So now, since we're doing opposite with that, we have to do opposite with this one too, with the G24. So I'm just going to do some nice thin lines going down on his collar. Again, doesn't have to be perfect, because nobody is going to really, well, I don't think anybody would really, and I mean, I don't know, does anybody really like get up into somebody's work and check it out and like fully inspect it to make sure it's perfect? I don't. So there is our G24 lines. Hopefully I'm on the camera. I don't like delay. Delay drives me insane. Can you tell? So there's the G24 lines, and now we're going to move on to G28. Whoops. If my hands will work, that would be fabulous. So G28, okay. Now these ones, you don't really leave a space. I mean, you could actually leave it just like that and nobody would really care probably. except for maybe you, if you wanted it to look differently. So the G28, I'm just going to do solid lines, and I'm just going to go right down next to the stitch mark. Oh, thank you, Betsy. It's so hard to see if I'm actually on the camera or not. And then I'm just going to do one more, and I'm trying to stay kind of where there's no other color, but it's going to be a bit hard. And then I'm going to go on the seam line, and then you can't really tell over here, so I'm just going to do a little bit more. Now here I'm just going to go next to the seam line, and if I cover up that G21, that's quite all right, because like I could even go, I mean, I think it would look good if I even did one more right here. Okay, so let's see. And if you decide you want to do, like you want to go back in with the G21, which is what I'm going to do, you most definitely can. Like say you're like, oh, you know what? I did not leave enough space and I completely went over the G21 areas with the G28. That is fine. You can totally do that. Hey, Jackie. So now we're going to go back out on this one, on the collars, just like we did with the G21. And I'm just doing a few little spots. So that was the G28. Now I'm going to go, what we can do is I'm going to go back to the G24. Glad you liked the shirt. Have a good weekend, Sherry. It was nice seeing you. So this is the G24, and what this does is going back over it is it kind of blends that G28 a little bit and just gives it a little bit more texture, and it kind of makes it look as if the G24 is going over the top of the G28 instead of the opposite. But like I said, personal preference, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. And I'm just kind of doing a quick, like a little quickie in there. I'm kind of filling in where the shadow would be right here. We can also do that with a gray. Whoops, I went the wrong way. I actually just blended the 28. Here we go. And then get his arm. There we are. And now for the G21, I'm going to go ahead, and this time I really am going to go in between the G28 just to make sure. And if you want more white in there, you can always leave more white. You don't have to go back with 21. And I'm just kind of haphazardly going in there with the 21. Oh, I totally forgot to do the back end of his shirt. So I can just go in the back end and just maybe put 2 lines right there. And we'll go back with the G24 and put a couple lines that way. And there's his shirt. I mean, you could even like, okay, so fall is coming up. So just to pick a crazy color, Y24, okay? That's a nice pumpkin color, YR24. Can't read that. So you could even just come in between the YG28 and put some YR24 in there. Kind of make it like a little fall kind of colors. And as you can see, this was a total like afterthought, which is quite all right. But it still looks fine. I actually really like this. See, I love coloring with you guys. It might take me a little, you know, I might go a little bit faster than I would normally, but I like the ideas that I come up with when I'm coloring with you guys. I'm like, ooh, let's do this. Ooh, let's do that. So, and now he has a nice fall shirt. So, jeans. Do you guys want to do ripped jeans or do you guys want to do regular jeans? While you guys decide what kind of jeans you want to do, I'm going to start coloring his skin a little bit. So, let me know what kind of jeans you want to do. This is the E11 that I'm using on his skin. Just kind of going around. His skin isn't too much different than any other skin that I do, unless I'm doing, you know, a little African American boy or, you know, little Latino boy or something. Same thing, just different colors. Going around, getting his t-shirt here. Let's see, we'll have the sun coming this way. That way I can put the shadow on this side of him. Let's see. No one's telling me what kind of jeans they want. What's going on, you guys? You guys just waiting for me to decide or something? Which is fine. Let's see. Go around, get his ear. Get this part. And he already has little lines for his cheeks. Ripped. Thank you, Susan. So since he already has little smile lines for his little cheekies, I am just going to make them a little bit more pronounced. And again, you don't like ripped jeans, but you would love to see how to do them. Oh, I don't like ripped jeans either, Betsy, but I think I like drawing them. I just don't like wearing them, like, at all. I'm like, why am I paying $50 for a pair of jeans I could rip on my own, right? So, just don't get that concept at all. Somebody explain it to me. So, I'm going to fill in his face a little bit, make it look a little bit round. And I'm going to do it on the other side too. Give him his little cheek marks. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Oops, I forgot his ear. There's his ear. And we'll put a little bit here. And we'll put a little bit here. And get a little bit underneath that little lip. So now we need to use the E04, which is just for shadows. Shadows only. Do not, and this is for cast shadows. Don't use this for like shadows like, I don't know what shadows, but it's cast shadows only. So like where his hair is. And let's see, his hair is going to have a cast shadow on this way because our sun is coming from this direction. We'll have one here We'll have a little bit of one here and kind of down here. We will have one here on his shirt, because when the sun comes this way, it'll be blocked right here, but it's going to go into his shirt on this side, so we won't have a cast shadow on the other side. Okay, we'll have a little bit from his sleeve. I totally forgot to do his feet. Oh well, we'll do them later. We'll work it in right now. Now back to the E11. We're just going to blend some of that E04 out. That way it'll turn into kind of like an orangey-ish, reddish kind of color, but just kind of tame it down, because E04 is pretty harsh. Okay, and we're gonna go over here, tame that shadow down. But can you see how it changes a little bit? Gets it a little bit more orangey. Can you tell that right there? So, and you'll notice I have the camera away a little bit today, and that's because I noticed that he was looking, my images have been looking really seriously muddy because I was too close to the camera. So I'm pulling back and just kind of showing you guys what I'm doing afterwards. That way you're not like looking at it going, oh my gosh, what is she doing? You know what, I can go ahead and put that 11 right across the top of his foot and down his little pinky toes on one side. Just do the one side where it would get the shadow. Don't do both sides. We'll go across the bottom and just kind of right there where the toe, you know, you always have shadows where your toes are stuck, like pushed together. So let's see, that was E11 and E04. Now we're going to go on to E21. I'm going to bring his cheeks out. Bring the side of his face out. Get his ear. Get underneath. There we go. I need to turn him around though. That way I can see how far I'm going with him. Bring out the side, bring down the bangs. And then we're going to get in here. Pull this side out a little bit, because he will still have a little bit of a shadow, just not much. And I'm bringing my shadows out a little bit more because I want him to look a little tan. Maybe he's gotten tan from summer. Go in between his little toes. Oh, and you know what? I have to go back with my E11. And I forgot to do the little bridge thing for the top of his nose. But his hair comes down so far you almost can't see it. He has like one of those popular new hairdos. So this is E00. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. I don't normally give rosy cheeks like I do to Marcy onto Luka, because, well, boys don't normally use lipstick and blush and all that stuff. At least not Luka as far as I know. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill him in. I'm not using E000, because I want him to look more tan, like he got tan during summer. There we go. Get his toes, and I even do his toenails because we can always go back over the toenails if we want to. Yes, some do wear blush and, you know, lipstick, but Luka does not. Not today. Let's see. Now, you guys wanted ripped jeans. So we're going to go on to the jeans. I'm going to be using, first, I'm going to be using E21. And then I'm going to go into the B's that I have listed above, which is B91, 93, 95, 97, and 99. So E21, we are going to put a bit of skin here, and I'm going to put a bit of skin here. Those are going to be our skin areas, and we've already marked them. That way we don't color in those spaces. So I'm going to go with, first I'm going to go with B99. Actually, no, I'm not. That's a lie. So sorry. I'm going to start with B97. Okay. And I'm going to put a line right here. There's like a little crease that Irina has put there, as if that is supposed to be where the pants crease at. But I'm also going to put a little bit of something there, a little bit of a crease, little crease here, because you know he's going to have creases where his knees have been bending. I'm going to go down his his little seam line, and you know that everybody has creases here in their pants from sitting all darn day. And we're going to have a bit of a shadow underneath our shirt, especially on this side because the sun is not going to hit that side. And we'll just put a little shadow underneath. Now we've got a crease mark here. We've got a crease mark here. And I normally do a couple of them because that's where you know that he's been moving around. Creases there. And your creases don't have to be the same as mine. They can be wherever you choose. So, and it looks like he's got a little bit of a crease here. And I usually just go up and down because if you look at your jeans, let's see, hang on. Hang on. I have a piece of jean here. So if you look at your jeans and you crease it, like, okay, like you've been sitting or whatever, it's going to crease like this. Just naturally just kind of crease, okay? I mean, if you have jeans on right now, take a look at how your creases are in your pants when you sit down. And then after you stand up. So we're going to go ahead and just go down here. And let's see, I'm trying to decide if I want to put a crease here and a crease here. I like creases in jeans. I don't do a whole lot, but I do like them. Try not to get into the areas where you have those little skin marks, okay? Because that's going to be a little bit lighter. Now I'm going to use B95. Hi, Tammy. Oh, hi, Avra. How are you? Sorry I didn't see you when you came in. Now I'm going to use B95, and I'm just going to pull that 90. I'm going to go down that line right there, but I'm just where his zipper would be. I'm going to pull these out just slightly, and I'm going to pull all of the B97 out just slightly. And remember, don't get in those skin lines, those little skin patches, because you don't want, because then you're just going to have to cover it up and you won't get your ripped jeans that you wanted. So now I'm going to go from this side, and I'm going to pull that B95 out just a bit. Kind of go around that skin line, so hopefully I won't go in that spot. Let's see, pull that out. And you can change the way you have your creases and things as you go if you like. You don't have to keep them the way that they're going. Like say this one, I wanted it to go more angled this way. Just pull it and make it go that way. Nothing is absolutely permanent. I'm going to go around that skin mark a little. Go up on his pocket, pull this 95 out. Easy peasy, right? So after 95, B95, we're going to go on to B93. And guess what? Doing the same darn thing. I know, sounds boring, but they are going to look amazing when we're done. And just continue to go around that skin line. If you make the skin line a little bit smaller, that's okie dokie. Pull that out. Here we go. Pull those lines out. Now that one looks curved because we made it look curved, which is awesome. Go around that skin line and finish pulling this out a little bit. Oops, and I missed that spot. So let's pull that out. Now we're going to go with the B91 and just kind of haphazardly fill things in. Because if you kind of do it haphazardly, except for around the skin lines, don't do your skin lines. Just go completely around those. Then it'll leave a little bit of contrast. It'll leave a little bit of white. Okay. And it won't get over blended. Go around that skin. Now we're going to go back in with the B99, the one I said we were going to start with, and then I lied and didn't start with it. I started with 97 instead. So now I'm going to go back in, and this is also where you can make those crease lines go different directions if you want. Okay. I don't know if you guys can hear my daughter or not. She keeps coming up the stairs, and I forgot to shut my office door. But I kind of, if you guys hear me laughing or giggling, it's because she's got the hiccups really bad, and she just sounds so cute. I can't help laughing. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow here. Put a little bit of a shadow by his zipper. And what the B99 does by coming in afterwards is it just really makes those crease lines stand out, because it really looks truly like a shadow coming through the pants. And I'm just kind of touching it up, just very, I mean, I'm just barely touching anything. Let's see. You know, I'm going to flip him around so I can get these lines a little better, because I'm making them all thick and I don't want them thick. And if you want, like, say, like this one here, say, oh, I wanted it to be a little bit more, but I didn't put it in there when I was very first doing it. Just put it in there, like that. And then you can just take, this is 97, go over it a little bit with your 97, and just kind of blend it in. It's okay, it works. Now, if you want stone washed jeans, if you don't want just regular old jeans, if you want stone washed, grab your W3, and I'm going to show you these jeans before I actually put the W3 on there. So there's these jeans, okay? So if you want stone washed, take your W3 and just very lightly go over the whole jean, not your skin marks, just the rest of the jean, okay? And then you've got, instead of regular old, and I'm just using the side of my marker just like this. Now you've got, instead of blue jeans, you've got stonewash jeans. And there's the stonewash jeans for you. Okay? And that was W3. Hi, Jessica. How are you? So to get the lines for the rips, I'm going to use my 05 gel pen. Now the 05, you'll notice I'll tell you guys 05 or 10, and then I've got an 8. So that just tells me how thick my pen line is going to be. And 05, I believe, is the smallest pen line. You're fine, Jessica. You can always get it on the replay, and we're not, I mean, we're almost done, but you can still say hey and hang out with us. So if any of you have the Jelly Roll pen and they drive you insane, warm them up on your finger, on just the tip of your finger, and it'll get them all nice and warmed up so you won't get angry with them. Okay, so now I'm going to do the ripped part of his jeans. And I'm just going to lightly go across. And you know what? I am going to zoom in for this. Let me stand up. Mama, watch out, Lulu. My dog's underneath my chair. Let me zoom in a bit so you guys can see this. So I just went ahead and put lines across, because you know when we rip our jeans, or when the fashion company does it for us, you get the lines across from the material. Okay, so I'm going to do it that way. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. And now I'm going to go the other way. And yes, I'm actually going over it so that I'm going out over the blue. And you know how you get the little, what do you call those? Little fray lines, right? So I'm just going to make them kind of wispy, kind of crazy. Little lines going everywhere. Make them kind of curvy and nutty. And I'm going to do that on both of them. Now you can use a thicker pen, like the 08, or like the pen that I think it was Christine mentioned. I don't know the name of it. I think the smallest one that comes in is an 07. If you use a thicker pen, you're just going to have to be a little bit more careful, and it's going to be a lot thicker of a line. I like mine to be thin so that it actually looks like ripped material. So that's why I like the 05 for that. So his eyes, we got to go back in and do his eyes. Hi, Julie, how are you? So I'm going to go in, and this is my 10. I feel like 10s work the best on their eyes, at least for that part. And then I'll use an 8 to go in and do the dot. Now, when you guys are doing the dot, I suggest you do it on the same side. So I have this on the left side of his eye and on the left side of his eye. Because if you do them on opposites, like if I did that one on the left and that one on the right, he would be totally cross-eyed, and it, well, unless you're doing like a funny costume, that would be really funny. Then you can do them like whatever. But I would do it on the same side so that they don't look like they're cross-eyed. Hi, Terry. How are you, sweetheart? So I noticed on his face, I lost some of my stuff up here. So I'm just going to go in a little bit and bring some more of that shadow back in on the sides. That way it'll make his face look round instead of like, you know, more dimensional, I should say. More dimensional than instead of like he's just sitting on a piece of paper like he actually is. Because we're trying to bring him to life, right? So, and just get his wee nose a little bit more. And then if you want to do his lips, a nice color for just like, let me see, kind of just like a plain Jane kind of a color. Just like a natural lip color would be the E93. And then I usually go back over, when it comes to Luka, I go back over the E93 with the E00. And now I've kind of pulled that out too much. That's okay. So, and it just kind of gives it more of a natural color. And see, he looks all muddy now, and he's not really muddy. So let me move back out so you guys can see he's really not that bad. So there is our Luka. Wow, I really moved that out far. Sorry about that. Hopefully that'll bring him back in a little bit. So we've got the ripped jeans, we've got the torn jean, or the torn acid washed or stone washed jeans. Another thing you guys can do, let's see, I'll do it on this one. So let's see, and I'm just gonna use like, I'm just gonna go like this so you guys can see. And I know I've shown you guys this before, but we have some new people. So you can take a piece of old jean material, and this is just Various ink, the colorless blender. You don't have to use this one. And I just fold it and just push it down. The longer you push down, the more you're going to get removed, but there's a jean material for you. So if you don't want to have to, you know, if you don't want to get all fancy, or you want to be more fancy and have more texture, you can totally use this on his jeans. The only reason I'm not is because if you do this, you want to make sure that you do his jeans first. Don't do his skin, don't do his shirts, don't do anything except for his pants first, because otherwise this is gonna, the colorless that's on here will get all over everything. And then you're gonna probably be sad like me, because I've done that, I've been there. So his shirt, you could either give him an orange shirt, Or you could give him a white shirt. What color shirt should we give him, you guys? Tell me what color shirt we should do. You could even do like corduroy. Like if you have any corduroy, or go to Joann's or whatever fabric store that you have, you could go to and do corduroy jeans. You could do almost any kind of jeans that you wanted to, and it would be a lot of fun. Nobody has any ideas for a shirt color. Okay, so I'm gonna go with like a tannish, well, not tan, I guess orange. My pumpkin colors, and then I've got yellow. Sure, I say pumpkin or orangish colors, and then y'all chime in. Talk about a delay on this thing. So let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and use R27, R24, and R23, and maybe R21. I don't know. I'll decide later. So I'm gonna start with YR24. Okay. And I'm just gonna make the shadow on his shirt. I'm gonna come out a little bit. And I'm kind of going at a curve there because he's got a bit of a, it's kind of flaring out right there. And I'm gonna go ahead and go here. And then I'm gonna use 23, YR23. That's gonna give me kind of a dirty orange color, which is also fantastic for pumpkins. Go ahead and pull that up a little bit. And this was YR23. Has a little bit more yellow in it than it does the orange or the red. So YR21 is definitely more yellow. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the center there. Don't worry, it'll be getting covered up because that'll blend out real nice. Am I even on the screen? I am, okay. Now I'm gonna go back with my YR27. And I'm gonna go right here because this side is definitely not getting any light. And I'm gonna flip him around because you know I'm a puller. Go ahead and pull that up. Whoops, wrong side. This is the YR24 again. And I'm just going to come up on this side. Blend that 27 out a bit. And I'm going to go back in with the YR23. And I'm just going to cover that up. Now, why did I use the 21 if I was just going to cover it up? And the main reason for that is because the lighter colors are going to change the color of the darker colors. So even though, like, okay, so Y27, this is Y27 or YR27 all on its own. Here's YR21, and then here's YR. It's a little bit darker. It'll either lighten them up or it'll darken them up, but either way, it changes the color. So there is our Luka. He is all finished. So I hope you will. Oh, you know what else you could do? See, you guys, I come up with all these ideas. So not that one either. Here we go. Number 5. So you could also, in between the YR 23 that we put in there and the green, you could also put in some little white lines. And you can go one way and then you can go the other way if you want. Okay? And it doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be completely phenomenal. Now this is a shirt that my son would probably wear, or my daughter. She wears a lot of shirts that are just kind of fun. So let's see, and then we're gonna got the lines going this way. And you kind of lose some of the green, but it just really depends on what you want. And I want just kind of a rugged, I'm going for the rugged rustic kind of a look. Okay, so you can also do that as well. Okay, I will add the YR 24, 23, 21, and 27 and his hair colors to the description for you guys. And I hope you enjoyed today. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. And I'm more than happy to help. Okay, remember, private message me, don't tag me, that way I will see it. Because if you tag me, I just get way too many tags and things on Facebook, okay? Thank you, Betsy. I'm so happy that you like him. We have a challenge coming up later this month, and I'm for the design team, so I may just use him. So I will see you guys later. I will see you on Tuesday. I'm thinking about doing some critters. So I will talk to you Tuesday, okay? Or before then if you guys have any questions. Bye now.